Hey, welcome to a stand-up conversation. I'm your host, Jef Rawls. What is a stand-up conversation? Well, it's just the idea of getting to know a few stand-up comedians, which many of you know are stand-up comedians that are jesters. And we are going to just have a conversation about some of the what's going on in their world of stand-up, but also kind of get to it's a new, different opportunity for them to present their stand-up comedy routine without an audience. A stand-up comedy, just like improvisation, you need that live feedback where you want to you say something funny, and who knows if it's going to be funny if you don't have an audience. And so we're going to get a handful of stand-up comics here tonight, and we are going to just have a conversation. And if some funny stuff comes up, some of their routines, some of their ideas, some of their shenanigans, all of that, if it comes up, we are going to have some fun. We would like for you, if you would do us a favor, please, write down, I think it's over here, somewhere by the Zoom thing, it says watch on YouTube. If you click on that, that is going to bring you to our YouTube page, and you are going to be able to comment, because we're going to ask you some comments and see, like, hey, what are some topics that you want us to address and have some fun with tonight? So hang on, have some fun. We've got some time here. I'm looking forward to tonight. I hope you are too. I think that is enough time for the notifications of everybody saying, hey, something's happening tonight. The jesters are on, and we are ready to go. So let me introduce my guests tonight. They're both really, really great. First, both of them together, but here's my first guest. After 20 years of performing comedy, Ken Kaz has been fortunate enough to work alongside some of the biggest names in the business, including Dennis Miller, Paul Rodriguez, and Bob Marley. Bob Marley, the comedian, not the singer, I believe. I can imagine him hanging out with Bob Marley, though. Bob Marley, the singer. He has entertained Fortune 500 companies such as Pepsi, Cigna Healthcare, and Abbott Labs. Today, he has established himself as one of the most versatile professional comedians working in the business. However, he is still a subpar accountant. And my other guest, is also a stand-up comedian of nearly 30 to 30 years, I guess. This guy's been doing this a while. He has performed all over the country and has performed for some of the same people, Dennis Miller and also Joan Rivers. This guy has performed with Joan Rivers and has likewise performed and entertained in a number of Fortune 500 companies and probably a few Fortune 50 companies. And he is very, very handy. So I would like to welcome Lamar Newmeyer and Ken Kaz. Hi, guys. Are you joining us? Are you here? Are you here? Are we there? How are you? Let's see. I think.
Oh, there we go. I was muted. Who else was muted? It automatically muted.
Ken, are you muted?
I am no longer muted. I will not.
There you are. Hey, gentlemen.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm happy. I'm excited. This is a new swim lane, if you will, for the Fun E Network. We've got our Jesters Improv, but I wanted to get something a little bit different than Inside the Laughter, especially during this time of coronavirus, where we're going to have some conversations with stand-up comedians. That's you guys.
Wait. Before we start, I've got to just mention for Ken here. I see Ken. She'll be riding wildfire.
That's my spirit animal, Lamarr.
It looks like
that represents the spirit within me.
I think it should be.
I'm a giant, I want to say obese white horse. Look at the girth on that thing. It looks
quite
like
round.
Looks like it ate another horse.
I'm in an undisclosed jungle, so back in Nam here.
And I've opted for the green screen. I'm at the stand-up comedy club.
Well,
Either
what's
that
great
or
about
out
it
the
is
back of a
now
out the-
we don't have to stand up anymore. It's all sit down comedy. It's so much more relaxed, so much easier on the back.
I'm sitting down having a stand-up conversation with a few stand-ups that are sitting down.
I think that when this is all over and we go back on stage, I'm taking this out with me. I'm just going to take my chair and just scoot out on the stage like this and just roll out there and then just do my stand-up like this. I'm going to have a stool and a microphone. And that's how I'm going to roll.
And no pants.
That'll be
just,
good time.
just look at me from here up. Just focus here. This general area here.
Well, have you guys heard of the Zoom mullets? You guys know what Zoom mullets are, right?
No, I have not.
It's business on top. So you got the suit jacket, the tie, and all that. But once you stand up, it's you've got flip flops, you've got your pajama bottoms. You hopefully have underwear on.
Yes, there was that CNN reporter that got busted for that.
That was awesome. That was fantastic.
Broadcasters have been doing that for a long time. They've always done that, but he was, usually you have a desk there, and he was just, hanging out. I mean, whatever. Hey, Jeff, can I tell you? This came to my mind. If I can give you a little bit of tips for our for this funny time now. One of the things that I see everybody wearing masks, and I think that's great, super. But I'm missing the facial cues from everybody. I don't get yeah, exactly. You look like that all the time. So I wanted a little DIY project here that I have for you, and I wanted just to try this out for you. You can try this at home. Okay, so you get your mask here. All right. Okay, so but if you're regular happy, you just get a little there. This lets people know that I'm okay, you're okay, we're doing good. These are smaller than they would be. The production models will be a little bit better. This one's
prototype. We're with you.
This is prototyping. This is dual purpose. Like, the guy that cuts in front of you, like, no, that's not good at all. Maybe you're feeling kind of smug, so you got the little smirk. Mm-hmm.
the inverted Nike swish.
Yes, I'm realizing now these must be much bigger. And everybody collectively can gawk at the person in front of you, like, oh no, he didn't. There's that one. Okay. And then there's this is the one where you're just not sure what's going on. Like, I don't know. It's
okay. I've never seen a mouth like that outside of a Charlie Brown cartoon.
I think that's exactly it. Now you can have the Charlie Brown cartoon mouth that you always wanted. You can do these things. And then, so here's a chance that you can brighten your smile. What if you just want the Julia Roberts mouth? There you go. That's now Julia Roberts.
Hold on, that's a good look for you. Keep that on for a second.
That is awesome.
You're like, I'm thinking of who you look like. The motivational speaker that has like 1,000 teeth. Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. This is actually Julia Roberts' mouth. They cut it off out of Julia Roberts. She's right over here. And then we have the Steven Tyler, this one's too small though. But I need to make that one bigger, but my printer ran out of here. Anyway, that's a little DIY project you can do at home, and just make sure that they need to be bigger than this. They need to be bigger than 2 inches. But now you have a chance to be a Charlie Brown mouth and be silly. And I'm looking at people and they all look like this to me. They all look like they're going to rob me. And I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Did you speaking of DIY, is that did you make the mask yourself?
Oh yeah, no.
Not just the face, the lips.
No, these lips. Did I make the lips?
Not just the lips. Did you also make the mask?
Oh no, yeah. This is my daughter made this mask out of this was one of her prototypes out of toilet paper. She watches not toilet paper. Sorry.
Yeah.
Paper towel.
Potty mouth.
Yeah.
I'm all for recycling, Lamarr, but that's taking it a little too far.
That's right. No, she made it out of a
paper towel.
Yeah, it's a paper towel, and then she put some cloth. She watches these shows, DIY stuff constantly on YouTube. That's all she does is watch that. Forget school. She's learning everything from Rachel Ballinger and Colleen Ballinger and all these other knuckleheads that are making millions of dollars commenting on dumb stuff. Anyway, so that was one that she made for me. I did it so it was white and I could pin stuff on it. But anyway, there's your DIY. Also get a thicker marker. That's also helpful. Sharpie.
I think you need to take an anatomy course.
Maybe, Ken. What are you doing to help out?
I'm staying out of society.
Well, that's probably good. You should have done that years ago. Here we
Which
go.
was court ordered before the pandemic.
This is the upside down. It was court ordered before, but this is what Julie Roberts. I don't know what this is.
Even when she's sad, she looks happy. What a great
Anyway.
life.
These are the things I think of. I was literally at Walmart and thinking, I can't see what people think. And so how are you supposed to smile at people? You can kind of get an idea. They go, underneath those, like, and I don't know what that means exactly, but anyway.
Did you start running up to people and pulling down their masks to see what their faces were saying to you?
What are you saying? I have no idea.
What do you think about me?
Yeah. So anyway, that's
I was thinking I might share with you my screen. One of, I think there's, one of our, the businesses that we work with has beaten you to the punch. Let me share a screen here with
Stole your idea, Lamarr, while we were doing the show.
Dang it.
Yeah, literally while we were doing the show. So this you can actually print this at Flyers Direct. It's $11. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
You could actually get one of those. But get this, they have all kinds of fun things. I think it'd be hysterical. Get a dog face here.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's, you could also, like, I imagine, I'd love to see this one on Lamarr.
Oh, that looks nice. And look at her smoky eyes. The smoky eyes are nice too.
Yeah, is the mask on the top or the bottom?
Right. So,
okay, but here's the difference, Jeff. Is mine is interchangeable. See, you carry these around in your little fanny pack
Right.
you have right here. And you're like, what the holy cow?
Yep.
Well, I guess I just got away with that one. See,
You've got the Mr. Potato Head mask.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. It's
Mr. Potato Mask. That's the name.
Mr. Potato Head mask for humans now.
And yours are much more affordable because you make yours out of paper towel and toilet paper. You can undercut the competition, Lamarr. $5.95.
I'm just gonna sell a template for 99 cents online. Just here's a template and you cut them out on your own and put the blue tape on the back.
That's a Shark Tank idea. Let's go pitch it.
There you go. That's what I'm gonna do. Shark Tank. Yes, they're gonna invest. How much you sell it for? 99 cents.
Yeah, we want to offer. We need 300,000 for 10% of our business. Mr. Potato Head mask.
It's interchangeable.
but it's also got that the stem, so it can poke through. It's got a poke through, and you can bite on it, hold it in.
Yes, like the wax lips used to be.
Yes, it's much less painful than the eyes.
Things poking in your face. Well,
are you guys doing any traveling?
I went to the kitchen. That was fun. Tomorrow we're going to spend the day in the living room. So packing up, we'll bring a lunch.
Nice.
As previously mentioned, I did go to Walmart. So that was my big trip out. We had to get some supplies.
My children are having a very difficult time not traveling, meaning like even just, going over to a friend's house or going, even just going up to the mountains. They're having such a really hard time. And so my second oldest actually has one of those VR headsets. Have you seen those? Have you guys had it? Right? And you're actually able to really just kind of go anywhere. And so, he's constantly coming to me and saying, hey, Dad, can I get this? Because some of those games, cost money. But I've sent him skydiving, and meaning in the virtual world. Or
you just shoved him off the roof.
Yeah, wouldn't you know it? I told him it's a better experience if he's on his bed. And so he's up there and I'm watching him and he's doing one of these things. And I get up behind him and I push him. So he's now stepping out, the virtual world, he's stepping out and he fell flat on his face. And as about the time that the parachute pulled, and he stands up, he's like, Dad, this feels so real. He didn't even realize I did that.
That is hilarious. That's kind of like we used to play that like in college. You would get a board and stand on, and you ever play that with somebody, like fake them out? You'd think they were standing them up on the dresser or whatever, and they were only like 2 inches off, and you like jump off, and they jump off.
They're only they jump 2 inches.
Yeah, but in their mind they jump and they make really weird things and they land right. It's one of those things you got to see.
In all fairness, Lamarr, you're talking about college kids. So.
Yeah, well, I do have a VR headset thing that happened to me. So there was a promotion for one of those ones that you could use with your phone. So you snap your phone in it, and it becomes your VR goggles like this.
Yeah,
and then they have lenses. It was pretty good. It was made by Oculus, and it was pretty good. So one night, it was funny. It was a Friday night that I was not performing. Usually I'm performing every Friday night. This is why I remember it. I was in my office here, and I had the window open, and there was like this breeze going on, and in real life it was, and there was this. It was a scary thing that you're in a bedroom, and there's this little like a doll. It's sort of like what was that show? Stephen King with the no, not it.
Oh, Poltergeist.
Poltergeist, yeah, Poltergeist. The clown.
Yeah.
So there's a clown that's like.
Don't sing a therapist.
And then it disappears, and you're in the room, and you're looking all around for this thing, and then you see things moving around, and then so eventually it pops up right in front of you, and it scared me so much. I kind of a reaction. I was like, like from boxing, and I punched the headset off my face. I went boom, and the headset. And then I sat there for a second. And then when I punched it off my face, it was totally dark in my office because I didn't have any lights on, and the wind's kind of blowing, and my blind here is like tapping, and I had to sit there for a second and go, oh my God. I felt like such a moron, but I was by myself. It was like 10 o'clock at night. What's that?
It's just a game. It's just a game.
It was weird, but I know exactly what Jefferson you said did that, right?
It was Lincoln, yeah.
Lincoln. Oh, okay. Yeah. But I had the same kind of thing as I was like in my headset. I was like looking around for this thing. And sure enough, I'm looking at it in my bed, it pops up. I'm like, punch. And I'm just sitting there dark in my office. It's completely, there's nothing going on. I'm like, that was weird. Anyway, that's a true story. I was just a freaky thing.
Awesome. So what are you guys doing? What have you been doing during the pandemic that you want to do once it's over? Like all of this is happening. We can get out in the mountains. We can get outside. What's some of the things you want to do once this is over?
I'm not sure. I think I've got my own Helsinki syndrome going on, where I may never come out of this. I may just this may just be what I do, because I may just stay in my home forever now, because it seems like the smart thing. I've been like a lot of people, I've been redoing the house. It's a house project, and
yeah,
I've been in this house for 20 years, and I've always joked my house it's like a naval ship. You never stop painting it. You go room to room, but you go room to room, you paint the rooms. By the time you finish, you go back where you started, and you're like, oh, I got to repaint this again. It's already messed up.
That's like the Golden Gate Bridge, where they start at one end, they paint. By the end of the year, they get to the other side. I had the same thing. We had paint, 2 gallons of paint that we had for 2 years maybe in a room that we never did, and finally we're like, well, I guess we're painting that. We painted that. I went to the Home Depot too, and you have to stand in the big long line, and that's a whole experience too. But the tons of things are empty. people are doing the same thing. They're fixing all this stuff up because it's just they're all doing DIY projects.
Yeah, you got it.
Letters are hard, Lamarr. I get it. Letters are hard.
Three letters. I can't think of 3 letters.
I got it easy because Jeff with 1 F, Jef, a Ken with 3, Ken Kaz even with 3.
Oh,
So
There's more. I just cut it off because it is too hard.
yeah. He's got all kinds of C's and Z's in there. It's not even worthwhile
There's
going down that
silent letters that don't even count that are for some reason are in there.
when I was, I changed my name in like 8th grade when I moved from Washington State to Arizona. There was like 4 homerooms in my 8th grade, and there was already 6 Jeffs, and there's already even a Jef R. And
Wait,
and I was like,
what is a Jef R? Oh, middle initial, Jeff, or last initial?
Yeah, last initial, Jef R. So I was like, Jef Rawls. I was thinking, like I've got to be somebody different. There's already like a GEOFF guy, which nobody talked to.
That's the Toys R Us giraffe. Somebody named a kid after the Toys R Us. Joffrey,
right?
Jeffrey. And so it was then that I decided, you know what, I'm going to be Jeff with 1 F. So I changed it for a year and then changed it back when I went to high school, but it ended up sticking with me. My senior year is when I changed that. So Lamarr, if you want to change your name just to LAM and just be lame. Wait,
I could be just Lamb.
Just lame. I'm lame.
Lame. Yeah, I could.
Llama.
A llama. I've seen that before. People lost the R off my name somewhere with llama.
That's awesome.
We're also tiling in my house. So when right before this hit, my wife wanted to change the carpet or get rid of the carpeting in our house for years in all the bedrooms and in the family room. And I always had a great excuse where I go, it would take me a month of Sundays to take on a project like that. It's too much work. We can't do it. And then this lockdown occurs and she's like, oh, looks like you have a month of Sundays. So I'm 50 years old and I'm laying 1,000 square feet of tile in my house.
Wait, do you have the tile saw and everything?
Oh yeah.
You have the wet tile saw. You have to do the wet.
I got the wet tile saw. I got a grinder. I got all of it, Lamarr.
You are a better man than me.
I've already done half the house, 10 years ago, and now I got the other half to do. So it kills time, but it also it kills your body.
Yeah,
we would go back because we used to have carpet like in the family room when the kids were little, and my wife it always gets trashed, right? Your carpet gets trashed with kids and pets. And she always wanted to get rid of it, and I always said, I go, I'll make you a deal. I go, we can get new carpeting when the kids learn to stop feeding the old one. It's like it's a living entity, and I think I would need a permit to take it out of my house at this point. It has rights. It's allowed.
Your carpet is biodiverse now, so it's got.
It's like that weird aspen tree that's one giant tree somewhere in the world, but it's all connected underground.
Right.
That's what my carpet had been like to this point. It's one living, amazing organism that needs to be studied and researched.
You have to donate it to a zoo or something,
yes.
To a biolab.
I've had those issues myself. We recently moved to a different home, and it just seemed like, hey, we'll start putting stuff into this box, and then you realize, wait, this more and this more. Pretty soon, like, how did this much stuff accumulate into a small house? Now we're moving to a bigger house. It feels like it's got, it's got even, I don't know, like they're like rabbits.
Yeah.
Multiply.
It's the worst. At the beginning of the move, you're like trying to take everything, put it in boxes, and you're being all really careful, and you label your boxes, and you're wrapping stuff in newspaper and stuff like that. And by the end, you're just like shoving stuff, and you're like, I never even wanted this. It's my mom's china, and you're chucking it. And...
It's my mom's urn.
Yes. She's he's not around. Oh,
That's why I don't move. We would have moved, but like I said, been in the house for over 20 years. It's the thing that keeps me here is the idea of packing up and moving. It's too daunting.
It is a project, I'll tell you.
Do you guys know Mitch Hedberg?
Oh yeah.
Mitch Hedberg has a great joke about that. He's like, this weekend, I helped someone not move. No, I helped someone stay put. It's a lot easier than helping someone move. I just sit around and make sure he does not load stuff into a truck.
It's really easy. Hey, real quick, I want to take a half time out, a 15-second timeout. Timeout. We want to recognize our viewers right now that are commenting on the chat. If there's any topics that you would like to have us, you want to ask us about, have some fun with, please put them over there in the comments. And we want to recognize that Awkward Monkey 86 is here.
Awkward Monkey.
Yeah, Awkward Monkey. Awkward Monkey has been following Jesters for, golly, a number of years and is always so great. Thank you, Awkward Monkey. There are 85 other Awkward Monkeys when he or she, now I don't even know. I think Awkward Monkey.
They usually put them in a red barrel and they're all like this. It's a very awkward position.
Yeah, they gotta be like this.
But Awkward Monkeys 1 through 85 had already taken that name. And so they got stuck with the next one, which was Awkward Monkey 86. They're now up to Awkward Monkey 411, which is great. So
get information on Awkward Monkeys.
I'm a she. Awkward Monkey is a she. So we also, speaking of she's, I'm assuming this is a she, Sparkles Supreme Queen.
Oh, that's my dad. No, that's my dad.
That's your dad? Okay. Sparkles Supreme Queen is Ken's dad. We want to say hi to Ken's dad, Sparkles Supreme Queen. So,
yeah. There's
also
we can't solve. So if you got questions, pitch them out there. We can solve any problem almost immediately.
Yeah, immediately. Babbling Brook is here, and Jim Cressy is here. Jim, we still owe you your toilet paper. You won, and we're going to hand deliver that.
But we're not going to
deliver. Wait a second. How far is this?
We're not going to apply it. Careful on the hand delivery.
Right, we got to watch out. So
just right when you need
I
it.
say hand deliver. Yeah.
That's service. You don't see that service anymore these days.
It's just standing there with a roll of toilet paper in his hand, sir.
We'll also give you some cologne and some mints as you exit the bathroom.
And you'll have a comb and a little blue juice, and we'll.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
The Barbasol. Why haven't they used that stuff against this COVID-19? Shouldn't we all just take a swig of that?
Yeah, bro. I mean, or just sprinkle it around on stuff. Just atomize that, squirt it around. That'll kill it.
Let's see. We've got the Bairds and the Lundgrens. Lundgrens are watching. And golly, we're so grateful for all of you guys joining us. Let us know if there's any topics that you would like us to talk about. If you're just now joining us, we are having a stand-up conversation while we're sitting down with some stand-ups who are sitting down. So
sitting down on the job right now. We gotta rest up from all this resting and sitting around.
That's the other weird thing I noticed. Like even with this, like when Jef calls and asks if we can do the show, I want to do these shows because they're fun. But if you didn't want to do them, you can't give anybody an excuse nowadays. No one has an excuse to not do something like this. If somebody calls you and say, "Hey, can you meet for a phone call?" You can't be like, no, I got to go out of town, or I got to go into work. I mean, your excuses are gone. It's you could ask me to do anything right now, and I would have to oblige because I couldn't make up a lie to say that I can't do it.
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you the excuses of one of the stand-up comedians that I reached out to. It was just simply, I can't. You know, and I like the part of me that knows what's going on, the part of me that's like, why?
You gotta ask. Well,
Like,
wait, where do you have to go? Where are you going? Are you traveling?
what is going on in your life that's so important on a Saturday night that you can't go out? You can't. You're single. You, you know.
And
What do you-
did they say it like with guilt? Or like I can't tell you why. I can't. I don't want to. that's what it is. Who was it?
Well, I actually,
yeah.
Jeff asked me last week, talk about DIY projects. Jeff asked me last week if I could do it. I did it Friday night, and then Saturday night I couldn't because I actually broke a piece of plumbing off in the wall. I was trying to change out a tub spout. Here, all these things that I'd never tackled, like you were talking about, Ken. I'm like, hey, I could change a tub spout. How hard is that? I'm twisting it. I busted it off inside the wall. And so I was tearing apart the backside of my wall. So I'm like, Jeff's like, hey, we had a great time last night. You want to come out? I'm like, I can't. But that wasn't me, though.
I can't.
Tonight, that was actually last week. I did really break it. I get one other thing. I did contact another friend of mine that we were going to get on. I will not name him or her. I don't know. You don't know who it is.
It's him.
Lamarr doesn't know, ladies.
This is what he or she may or may not have said. Oh man, actually having my sister over for the first time in weeks. Don't call the government. There will be only 6 of us holding yardsticks. Keep me posted if you have anything coming up again. So somewhere in this area, there's possibly an illegal gathering going on.
Gotcha. Maybe that's the why they can't. Okay, so there are a couple of questions, a couple topics here that our followers are chatting on the YouTubes, and one of them is this is submitted by Awkward Monkey 84. No, Awkward Monkey 86. Talk about how people are selling toilet paper and hand sanitizer for outrageous prices online. Have you guys seen this? I actually have I have a screenshot of, and it's on Amazon, of hand sanitizer for $326 or something like that. It was ridiculous for 2 bottles over $300.
But it's the Kardashian brand, so that's actually marked down.
But trust me, that's really that sanitizes.
It's hand sanitizer by Chanel.
Yeah. Well, I think those people are the ones getting ostracized. The ones that have been taking it and marking it up. They're getting named socially, and they're the ones going to be hung in effigy or literally in streets and in parks. Don't buy it. Don't buy hand sanitizer. You know, just wash your hands. Don't fall for it.
Yeah, and what do you?
Paper, I don't know what to tell you there, but you know, toilet paper is it's a relatively recent invention. So there wasn't a tree when the first humans came along that had toilet paper the way we're used to it. It just had leaves. So depending on how much money you have and how well you're willing to part with it, you can find another alternative. In fact, using dollar bills might be cheaper than buying the toilet paper at the prices that they're asking for. Go to your bank and get a ton of singles.
Yeah, they aren't being used at the other places where they always have singles. So just go get a big bundle of them right now. And also the way the economy was tanking there for a while, maybe with the devaluation of the dollar, maybe it was going to be worthless anyway. So
yeah, no kidding.
Well, you know, bidets are making
a whole new meaning to can you spare a square?
But bidets too. You know, there's a do-it-yourself project. Convert your toilet into a bidet.
Hey, Ken, you're getting pretty good at doing this. Maybe you can offer a one-day service and you can call it Bidet Today.
A bidet today. We'll get fire hose pressure into your house.
these people are the that are buying that stuff are the economic versions of the of Darwinian selection. They're going to be selected right out of everything because who is so desperate that they are spending that much money? There isn't a shortage of toilet paper or of hand sanitizer. There's still the same amount as there always was. Everybody's buying it right now, but what are you trying to sanitize that you need it that badly right now?
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's the OCD hand washers who, by the way, are all going right now. Who's crazy now? Huh? Who's insane now?
Those people.
Ken, that actually reminds me of, do you remember, gosh, it's been a couple of years now, but there was a news anchor that was doing a remote, and behind him, like his kid walks into the bedroom. Yeah. And, you know, and then his wife kind of sneaks in, grabs the kid, and do you guys remember that video?
I think I do.
So that went viral. Like, this guy just got strung up by the public of just like, what an idiot, why don't you lock your door? Like, they just ate him alive, as you know, the internet trolls do. But now that everybody needs to do that, there is so much of that going on. There's so much of the, you know, people walking in, getting up, forgetting your cameras even on, and going and doing stupid things. You know.
Yeah. So we're at work. I've got my day job as a corporate setting, and it's like the forgiveness is just out there. So you can the baby crying, the dogs barking, everything that used to be, you know, shunned or frowned upon or considered unprofessional. It's just fine. It's just fine. You know,
your wife walking around in her, you know, bra in the background, no big deal.
That's a bonus.
Yeah, because you didn't. It's no longer a privilege to work from home. That was the difference. Now it's you're requiring of it of me. So what you see in my home, you get. You know, you've asked me to do this, so you live with the ramifications.
You get what you get.
That's one of the things that I might miss, that maybe it'll stay, that, like, you know, it was great working at home or doing stuff, and you have to be professional. You don't want dogs barking. And now it's like, kind of like, hey, that's par. That's what you should have. It's regular life. We don't have to pretend like we're at some office. We're just working away at the work.
Hey, speaking of home, one of the topics here from Samantha Baird is homeschooling. Are you guys homeschooling your kids, or your wives, or what's going on there?
YouTube is homeschooling my children right now. I'm not kidding. Well, not really. We're doing other stuff, but I'm telling you, I get up in the morning, and my 11-year-old is out there just glued to the DIY YouTube. I'm not kidding. That's where all these things are coming for. And she'll disappear for a while and then come out with some other craft that she just learned. So I'm going to send her over to Ken's house to learn how to tile, because I got lots of projects, man.
We got a trade school in operation over here. Learning the trades. Well, we've morphed into a very weird dynamic, because my kids are older. They're 15, 17, and 19. So they're okay with their schooling. They're all doing their online stuff, but it's the timing has all shifted. So like my wife and I, we get up at normal time. We're online and working by 8 o'clock, and the kids have been sleeping later and later, and we've allowed it because it's less distraction if they're sleeping. So we're at the point now where they're basically we're in shifts. You know, they're up all night, they sleep all day, and then we don't really see each other anymore, which is great security, because there's somebody up 24 hours a day in our house, at least, you know, manning the post and making sure nobody's breaking in.
I thought that same thing. I canceled all my security from now on. I don't need monitoring. We're here all the time. And my youngest there has figured out, she took a survivalist course, so she's out in the bushes there, you know, with the punji sticks and stuff like that, and so you don't want to cross her. She's learned Krav Maga from the YouTube.
I think we've just come to realize that school, for the most part, is just, you know, it's babysitting. That's all.
Yeah, actually, that is the conversation that my wife and I have had. You know, our kids, especially like our older kids, are teenagers, and so you know, they're like, you know, they'll do their homework in 45 minutes, an hour. And I'm like, wait, you guys will go to school for 8 hours. And I get that you've got, you've got lunch and you've got, between classes and all that. But you literally did all of your week's homework in an hour.
Yeah. There's
And
about
they
8 minutes
swear
of
up and
extra
down.
learning in a day.
Yes, that is exactly. I'm like, wait a second. Then what do you do the rest of the time? What are the schools? What are the teachers doing? No, hold on. I just
Careful.
hold on. I know. I realize what I just said.
They're allowing us to work and they're watching our kids, and that's
I know. And hold on.
That's enough.
I need to clarify basically my point here.
Yes, you do.
Because all of a sudden, like the way that came out was, what are these teachers doing all day?
Anything.
Now we're getting a lot of angry texts coming out.
I
Here
know.
they come. The angry texts from
Chat
all those
is
teachers.
blowing up. Now, I say that as kind of a precursor to, bless these teachers. I'll tell you what, putting up with my children.
That's enough. That's enough.
No, but yeah,
More than I could do.
You got a half an hour, 20 minutes to half hour to get there, and maybe the same back if your bus or dropping them off or walking or whatever you're doing. In between, changing books, locker stuff. You got lunchroom, you got the announcements, you got a flag ceremony, you got to do all that kind of stuff, So
Fire drills, tornado drills.
Yes. And so we make sure that we do all of those here. I have a flag ceremony, and that's what. No, I don't really.
So my kids just came into to my stream here. So speaking of,
is there an angry mob of teachers outside your home with torches burning?
Yeah.
Earl, dude, you get to keep your kids after all this is done. Hey, recently my daughter Roosevelt, who you both know, she did a song with WWE superstar Mickie James. And you like WWE?
Yep.
Okay. So first of all, let me say this, because we've got a question for the WWE debate. Is it real or not? But I do want to say this because it does benefit abused children. My daughter and Mickie James, the WWE superstar, the two of them are ambassadors for child help. And right now with the quarantine and all of that, kids are with their abusers even longer. There's no reprieve. There's no, safe place that they can go to school. All of that it's just terrible. So the two of them sang a song. It's amazing. It's called For the Love of a Child. You can get it on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, For the Love of a Child. And the proceeds from that song actually will go to child help. So go check that out. WWE superstar Mickie James. She's amazing. You got to follow her, follow Roosevelt Sings. But that's just kind of a precursor to get us into the conversation that Lee Baird, he's asking, is WW wrestling, the WWE wrestling, is it real or fake?
All right. I'll take a stab at that one. And first off, you do have to watch the video that Roosevelt's in, because at the very end, she takes a folding chair and smacks it against the back of Mickie. It's awesome.
No.
What's funny is I don't see Roosevelt in the WWE world. How is her trash talk coming along, by the way?
It's subpar. She's like,
got a long way to go.
You mess with me, I'll do something.
I'm not going to bring cookies next time. if you're going to talk that way, she's got a long way to go. I have a great admiration for those wrestlers and what they do. Is it real? Well, they really jump off those ropes and they really hit the ground and they really put themselves in danger. Yeah. That aspect is real. So the athleticism is going back from when I was a kid, and it was like Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter and all those guys. We know Lamarr. What these guys, these people, guys and girls do now is amazingly athletic and a punishment to the body. So it's real. I would say if you don't think it's real, go in it and go try to jump off a rope onto a card table and see if you think it's fake.
Well, there's a wrestler. This is a true story. There's a wrestler, John Stossel. If you know who John Stossel is, the independent reporter. He was on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he's a big reporter for a while. Anyway, he has his own thing called Stossel. You can Google this, YouTube it, whatever. He asked a guy, "Is it fake?" And the guy hit him and dropped him to the ground.
That's
He's
right.
like, does that seem fake? Is that fake to you? He did it to him twice. And I guess that's one way to prove your point is, no, they're actually hitting. They may not be doing all the things, and there might be augmented drama, let's say.
Yeah, there's a level of orchestration, but so is Cirque du Soleil. Is what they do fake?
Hey, that's a great one. I like that. Boo, you're not really on those ropes. You're not really having to climb that. Why would you stack up chairs? You don't have to.
That's really not your leg behind your head. Careful.
Alan, you remember Alan used to be able to put his arm all the way back there and go the wrong way? Oh, that guy
Alan was a carny freak.
Dude, that guy was good.
Tiling with your kids, that's fake.
It is fake because they don't do it.
No, I will echo the sentiments of Ken, having met Mickey James and a number of others. You know, the athleticism that they have, choreographed or not, it still takes an incredible athlete to be able to take those hits, those punches, those throwdowns, you know, a boot to the face. You know, you're still making some contact. It may not be the same, you know, connections as an MMA fighter who's literally trying to take off your head. But the entertainment value, I remember as gosh, how old was I when that started? Like 10 years old.
Oh yeah.
Watching Rowdy Piper and Jake the Snake Roberts.
Randy Savage.
Was
he the Slim Jim guy? Let me do a Slim Jim.
Let me do a Slim Jim, brother.
Yeah, they're
I love
athletes.
I love it when we do improv, we do introductions. I always love it if somebody if you introduce yourself as a WWE wrestler. It's the funnest thing to be that narcissistic in your delivery.
Look how great I am!
I am gonna destroy you when we meet in WrestleMania 469 and 343. You came at me and said that. It's just fun to be able to be that angry and have it be allowed.
Very good. Hey, let's see. There's some other. Let's see. Is there any other questions here? Homeschooling, grammar school. What is? I've got one here. I want to hear what your most embarrassing story. What is your most embarrassing moment in school? Doesn't matter the age. Who has the most embarrassing moment?
I've got a good one. I'll start off with.
All right.
So this was let's see, fourth grade. I used to be able to change and I've always been a comedian. This is true. I've always been silly. I would do anything to laugh, to get a laugh. And on the way home, I would, there was April Lamdermont and Kim Moore used to walk the same way I did. And every day I would find some way to trip over this fence and fall. I had slapstick comedy. I was like Dick Van Dyke in a little mini form. Anyway, so I was in this class and I used to be able to turn my face really red. If I would hold my breath just right, I could turn my face super duper red. And I had been doing it several times in this class, and we were lining up for lunch, and I did that. I made my face really red, and the next thing you know, I woke up with my head in a garbage can, laying down, looking up at the girl that I really liked. Her name was Vicky Kelly. Anyway, and she was looking like, what? I passed out, and I landed in the garbage can, knocked it over, everybody and the teachers. But back then, nowadays, the people go, oh, you got to go to the nurse and get checked out. They just stood me up like, you okay? What are you doing? Being an idiot? All right, get to luncheon, nerd.
Go to class.
Fourth grade, yeah, I made myself pass out to get a laugh. That's how far I'll go to get a laugh. I'll make myself pass out.
Well, I'm always a comedian, but this was not for a laugh, and this is not my most embarrassing, but that reminded me I always flipped around my pencils. You know, you can kind of flip it
Yeah,
around.
spin it on your finger.
You know, just kind of spin it around, right? Woo! And I was spinning it around, and it fell down. And as I'm leaning over to pick it up, I had a sneeze come on, and all of a sudden, as I'm leaning over, achoo, and I hit the corner of my desk, and so it created this big like L bruise on my forehead.
You were Harry Potter.
Yeah, but it was in the shape of an L.
But instead, yes. Wait, I don't know which
And that is a true story. I've never that is a true story. That was not trying to be funny. I'm just Ken, what's your most embarrassing moment?
I'm trying to think of what my most embarrassing school moment was. It may just be an aggregation of the fact that nobody noticed me for the 8 years I was in grammar school. That might be realizing now that's the most embarrassing thing.
I thought you were going to say high school.
Well, yeah, in high school. Well,
No, I mean the 8 years that you were in high school.
7 years in a GED.
So okay,
like clothes and fashion I was always most self-conscious about that because you guys know what floods are.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
Having floods and you get called out by the kids. Hey, when's the flood coming? Because your pants are literally like up to here.
Hey, that's popular right now. That's
and
the
it's
thing.
back in. Yep.
Yeah, floods are back in.
Cool. Wasn't
You
cool
wear
back
tight
then.
pants with a jacket. You wear a jacket and tight pants with floods. And I was like, look, I have a Pavlovian thing to that now. Like, oh no, that guy's a nerd. Let's give him a wedgie because it's been beat into my mind that you can't have that. That's idiots look like that. So I can't do that.
Yeah. Because when we were kids, like grade school, that was a time where nowadays everybody's so encouraged to be an individual and be yourself. And that was not the case back then. It was you wanted to be as much like everybody else as possible. And it was the products were geared towards it. There wasn't a lot of variety in clothes. We all in wintertime, we literally every kid had the same jacket. You'd have to write your name in your jacket because everybody had that blue with that blue jacket with the orange lining and the hood with the fur thing around the head. Every kid, I don't know if it was a Midwest thing, but every kid had that jacket. It's just the whole back row lined with these jackets. You had to find one with your name in it to bring it home. But being different was terrifying.
Yeah, Rush even had a song about it called Subdivisions. Be cool or be cast out.
Yeah.
Listen to the song Subdivisions. Anyway.
Yeah, it sounds like the story of my life. I did. I mean, I'll be honest. I wanted to be cool like the cool kids. I was somewhat of a nerd, but my best friend, his brother was like the star quarterback of the football team, right? And so one day during the lunch break, like after one of those school rallies, right? All the cheerleaders, the football players are all kind of hanging out in the quad there, I was wearing sweatpants, and my buddy comes up behind me and de-pantses.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's why. Yeah, you can't wear sweatpants. That's.
Well, here's the other thing. Don't wear boxers with sweatpants also. Because when you pull the sweatpants down, the boxers go with it, right?
Yeah, the whole rig comes down.
Right.
The whole rig.
Now, if the story stopped there, it's pretty embarrassing. All the cheerleaders and all that, right? It gets worse.
No, it cannot be worse.
It does. It gets worse. So my buddy's brother comes up behind me like they planned it out. He bear hugs me from behind and starts swinging me around. Now, from his angle, he just thought that my pants were down, right? But no, everything's at my ankles. and so he can't even see that I'm just like, whatever. I had too many anyway. So,
but did they all come? They dislodge all the way?
he's knocking me into cheerleaders, into other football players. And Lamarr, you said the girl that you liked, no, all the girls that
All the
I
girls.
had crushes on, he's just like, bam, bam, just like smacking. I'm just like mortified. And finally the brother's like, oh, his pants are, everything's down. So he puts me down and I compose myself. And I look like my house was like 2.5 miles away. And I ran home crying the entire way. I was mortified. That was the worst day of my life.
But the good news is he got 4 dates out of it.
That's right.
That's what, I was just thinking nowadays, I would just go, you're welcome. That's what
Yeah.
Lottie freaking da.
That reminds me of one, not as bad, but it was embarrassing for me. I was younger. I would have been like 8 or 9. And I was, I had 2 older brothers. I was the youngest boy. My neighborhood was full of kids. I was one of the youngest kids. So I got beat up and picked on every day of my life. And one of the time the boys that lived next to us were older. Bobby Athey, I'll never forget this. Bobby Athey. Remember, given atomic going the other way than yours. Remember wedgies? There's a wedgie. There's the atomic wedgie, the super atomic wedgie.
Yep,
I would get that all the time. One day, a bunch of kids were in the yard. They hung me by my underwear from the clothesline pole.
Oh, ow.
And left me there.
Oh man.
Oh,
And then
that-
cheerleaders walked by and laughed.
Wow, that's the worst, man. Well, no. Having your everything out. But yeah, word to the wise, don't wear sweatpants anywhere. Don't wear them.
I don't even know if you can buy sweatpants anymore.
Oh no, I wear them around the house or something like that. You can buy sweatpants. Come on.
I don't see them anymore.
Walmart.
Oh, Walmart. They're at Walmart. The Walmart it's formal attire at Walmart, not just in there. It's people are wearing them, and that's where they buy them. And also, now I will say that I used to have. You remember parachute pants? You guys, well, Ken's not.
Yes.
I had parachute pants.
Cavaricis. I couldn't afford them. I had to get knockoff ones.
Dude, I had to get. I saved up. My friend Chad and I went to Chess King in Metro Center Mall. We had to save up. I bought some parachute pants and I had a Cham's shirt, which is kind of like a sweatshirt thing, but it had I think it was sleeveless. I had a couple sleeveless and it had a hood. Dude, that was cool. But parachute pants were cool, man.
They were.
Back then.
Gives you opportunity to break dance.
I still have my sweatpants. I mean my parachute pants, and my wife can wear them. And she's worn them to some 80s parties. She's worn my parachute pants. Dude, they're sweet.
You had the body of a 39-year-old mother of 3.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty good. That's what I had. Shut up,
I
Jeff.
thought my story was embarrassing.
Yeah.
At least I had a man's body.
The most embarrassing story.
Mine's embarrassing now. It's not embarrassing back then. It's embarrassing now. Like, cut that out.
Well, when all this is done, what do you guys got planned? Like first thing, we get the order.
A haircut. A haircut's what I want. I really do. I know that Don Lemon had a big old freak out about, you want a longer haircut? Anyway, but seriously, I do need a haircut. This is pretty shaggy going on here. So
Yep. Haircuts. Look at that. I got like a duck tail.
and I would like to go out to eat and go to a restaurant with regular people. That would be nice. I wonder what that's going to be like. Is everyone going to be freaked out? And if you happen to sneeze or whatever, is everybody's like going to like dive over their lasagna or whatever?
What do you mean by regular people, Lamarr? What are you saying about your family?
I'm saying I would like to see somebody else besides these 3 people.
Get me out of here. I'm holding me against my will.
Help me. Help me.
Expected a little Joe Biden from him. Poor people are just like regular people.
With less money.
They like to pull the hair on my legs.
How about you, Ken? Where are you heading?
Well, I think like a lot of people, you want to get out and like get a vacation in again and get outside and be able to do things. And I think a lot of people, they may end up going like, you don't really need a family vacation. but everybody needs a vacation. So I think people are going to be like, give each kid like $1,000 and say, go somewhere and come back in 2 weeks. Go somewhere, come back in 2 weeks. Go somewhere, come back in 2 weeks. But we're not going together. Okay, we don't need to be together somewhere else. We just need to be apart for a while.
That's right.
Different locations, I think is
there were places that you could go to one location and that you could and then everybody, there was something for the adults, something for the kids. You could do that. They were called cruise ships. I think that's sunk for now.
I remember this thing you call cruise ships.
I'm not sure what that industry is going to be like anymore. I think they're just burning them right now.
I've never been on a cruise ship. Even the idea of them for this reason, the idea of them bothered me, of being trapped on there.
You're wrong. It's so much fun. They are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
First of all, I never had seen a hot lava cake until then. And then I gained 26 pounds just eating hot lava cakes for once. And then the other thing was they have comedy cruises. So we do comedy shows on the cruise. And then when you do that, they have an all-night food bar that you can go to. And I'm not even kidding. You can get those soft serve ice creams. And I would get 2 of them. And I would just walk around. My kids would be in bed. I went to the show, did the show. And then I get 2 of these ice cream cones and just walk around the ship.
Eating ice cream.
Eating soft serve ice cream in 2 hands. But it's like totally, everybody's like, oh, that's how you're supposed to roll here. It's gluttony on the seas. That's what it is.
Walk around with your parachute pants?
Yeah. Yeah, if even that, maybe. Yeah.
We went our last trip. We went to Yellowstone, which was a great trip. You guys been there?
I have been there, yes.
And I'd never gone there. I would go back. I'd never gone there, and I had no prep work going into it. And I was real busy. My wife planned the whole trip. I just got in the car. We went up there and drove in there. And the first day we're there, I'm realizing how dangerous this place is. And my wife, she's an animal lover. The first day we're there, she fell in love with a 1,500-pound buffalo that she wanted to take home with us. I'm having that conversation you would normally have with your kids, where they're trying to convince you into taking it. She's like, "You don't have to do anything. I will feed it. I will walk it. I will do." And I'm like, "Hun, they don't want you taking pine cones and rocks from here. I'm pretty sure there's no need a buffalo, take a buffalo program in place. You have to let it go.
Leave a bison, take a bison."
Yeah. But we got to I realized how dangerous it was. We got to our first night. We stayed in Old Faithful Lodge, and kids are running around the gift shop. And my middle son Kale comes up to me. He found this book. It's like this thick, and it's called Death in Yellowstone. This thick. And he's like, "Dad, this is cool. Can we get it?" And I go, "Yeah, we can get it." I go, "We need to get it because we're day one. We're making some big mistakes here. We need to bone up on this." And so we spent our first night. We're just reading stories out of this book because there's no TVs in Yellowstone either. You guys know that? Which don't tell you, if you ever take your kids, don't tell them. It's awesome. There's no TVs in the hotel rooms. And you don't tell your kids, and you let them walk in. They'll like walk into the room the first day, and they'll look at the wall, and they'll look at the bed, and they'll look back at the wall, and then back at the bed, and they're like, Dad, something's wrong. I think somebody robbed the room. There's no TVs. And that's when you go, no, they don't have television here. You know what else they don't have? Wi-Fi. And they just break down in tears. Like, why are you doing this to us? But we had fun. We're reading stories from this book, and we came up with our motto for the week was don't be a chapter. Don't do something that's going to make you a chapter in this book. Okay, don't cannonball into a scalding hot spring. Don't sneak behind the rails to get a better picture and fall 1,000 yards into a canyon. Don't play patty cake with a black bear. And these things have happened many times. The book is horrifying. And there's one story out of the book that I really got a kick out of, which is bad because all the stories end in people dying, but they get funny after a while. This one couple, like back in the 30s, they drove up to one of the highest lookout points, and they parked the car and they do their lookout. When they're leaving, he backed the car up off the cliff and they fell 1,000 feet into a canyon.
Oh no.
And I'm like, 1,000 feet is too far to fall. Because you fall 1,000 feet, there's time for a conversation on the way down. You know, she was just laying into him the whole way down going, I told you not to park there. I said, if you park there, you're going to back the car up or we're going to fall off the cliff. But do you ever listen to me? No, you. And this guy's just going, oh, where is the ground already? But I would love to go back there. That's what I want to go do. I want to get back out into some big outdoors and just get out, breathe some fresh air, and see some of the world again. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So you any other wildlife? You see other wildlife besides the
yeah, we had a great trip. One of the things, and it worked well. We had a good week. We didn't become a chapter until the last day.
Hold on, stop right there. Stop right there. Let's just let this marinate for a little bit. We didn't become a chapter until the last day.
Yeah. Everything worked well. We had a great trip. Last day, we have to leave the park and we're staying up in Roosevelt Lodges, the north end of the park. We got to go all the way out the southern end of the park to get down and head back to Arizona. So we get up early. There's like no cars on the road, and we're driving, and I see a car coming at us that's pulling over to the side of the road, which means there's some animal or something's going on. So we pull over, and I look over to my left, and there's a giant black bear just like 15 feet away from us, just sitting there eating at a bush. And I'm like, this is awesome. You know, I hadn't seen a bear all week. I really want to see a bear. We saw just about everything else. And I'm like, I got the perfect spot. I'm off on the side of the road. We're right there. You know, the cars that are coming up aren't going to get any closer to, than us. You know, I'm like, this is great. And I'm not looking at my wife this whole time, who has been putting on what I call, she's got the Disney lens when she looks at animals. When she sees animals, she doesn't see an animal foraging for food. She sees a cuddly creature looking for a new best friend. And she goes, I'm looking this way, and I hear her go, she goes, I'm getting out of the car. And again, I'm not looking at her. And so your brain, you know, processes things. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she's getting out of the car. And all my brain could think of was, well, there must be another bear, a bigger bear, trying to break into the back of our car. Because that's the only reason I could think of anybody getting out of a car when a bear is right there. And I finally turn, I go, what are you talking about? She goes, I'm getting out to get a better picture. And I'm like, it's happening. Kelly in the back seat of the car. Kelly in the back, he goes, it was a cool, crisp morning the day we lost Mother. I had to grab.
The bear seemed friendly.
She starts opening the door. I had to grab her by the arm and I go, you're not getting out of the car. And she goes, why not? And in my life, I never thought I'd have to pause and mount an argument to defend my stance on this situation. I'm like, there's a bear right there. And she goes, well, he's not going to attack me with all these cars around. I'm like, he's not worried about witnesses. He's not afraid you're going to pull him out of a lineup. He's going to eat you and then slowly walk away. That's what he does. That's what bears do. But that's how quickly it happens. That's how quickly people become a chapter. That's why there's a book called Death in Yellowstone. That's why it's this thick. And every year it gets a little bit thicker.
You know what the better story would be, though, is if the bear came up to her, pulled her pants down and swung her around in a circle.
Knocking into the deer.
For all the other, hey, check it out, all this wildlife. She gave her a bear hug. What?
You mocked me. You mocked me, Lamarr. Well, you guys have been great. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for a stand-up conversation. Oh, by the way, Lamarr,
yeah.
You said that you want those, you know, you could actually cut a hole in those so that you could still wear your mask and eat.
I think that might defeat the purpose, Jeff.
Can you? Yeah. I won't ask you.
I grew this to try to stop touching my face because if you notice, I touch my face a lot. This thing's gonna kill me. I stop touching my face. I'm worse than an infant with touching
me too.
my face. There's times I don't realize it, but I'll have my entire fist in my mouth. I don't even know I'm doing it. Yeah.
I'm that way too, and I've been watching myself on here going, because
I've done it 1,000 times,
and I do a lot of whatever like this. I'm trying to keep my hands down so that I can appear somewhat professional here.
Yeah, no,
But,
me, I'm just.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have been great. We would love some feedback from our audience, some feedback of what you think of a stand-up conversation, a bunch of stand-up comedians having a conversation while sitting down. So, Lamar Newmeyer, Ken, Kaz, thank you so much for being the guest tonight. We hope that you guys will stay healthy and happy, and don't touch your face. But we do hope that you will take a trip to Yellowstone and survive.
Yes.
Being a chapter in the book. And we do appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us each and every Friday and Saturday night. Be sure to share the Fun E Network and join, subscribe, get a membership that helps to support the theater jesters, and give us a like. Make sure, there's also a number of you that are not following us on YouTube. Go to YouTube and subscribe. Go to our Facebook and subscribe. We're on Twitter and Instagram and all of that. So anyway, thank you guys. You guys have been a great night. Thank you so much, Jim and Awkward Monkey and RC Jones and everybody who's chimed in tonight. Thank you for joining us. We will see you guys on another episode, another day. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks,
See you
Jeff.
later.